The morning light streamed through the window, painting the room in a warm glow. It was an ordinary day, but something felt different. A sense of anticipation hung in the air. I could feel it, a tingle of excitement running through me, despite being confined to this bed. The day held a promise, a whisper of something extraordinary. The nurse bustled in, her cheerful disposition as bright as the uniform she wore. Her routine never changed. She would help me bathe, a task I could no longer manage alone for at least 2 years. Then she would bring my breakfast, a puree of 2 cups of steaming oatmeal. But today, even her routine seemed touched by the unusual energy that filled the room. My oldest daughter arrived soon after. She had a worried crease on her forehead, a permanent fixture these days. As the nurse moved around the room, my daughter inquired if she needed help. She opened the drawer of my bedside table, the one where I kept my essential belongings. It was then that she stumbled upon it, my small black book tucked away discreetly under my lingerie. It was my daily prayer that they would find my little black book with all my last wishes. And finally, it was found. I could see some hesitation on her face as she looked at my black book. She held up the little black book, its leather cover worn soft with time. I felt a wave of nostalgia wash over me. It had been so long since I hoped they would find it, and that day finally arrived. They must have thought that they needed my permission, but at this point it didn't matter because with my inability to speak or make gestures, they had to make that decision on their own. The only thing I could do was just wait until they discover what was hidden within the pages. There are a lot of entries there that were so meaningful to me. Thoughts that I have had when I was going through my sickness. Thoughts that I had before things got to this point. I hadn't written in it for years. Life had taken over, filled with its joys and sorrows, its triumphs and failures. In the back of the book were my last wishes. Thankfully, they decided to read through the pages. It was a new activity. Each day they sat by my bedside and read the book to me. My daughter looked at me, her eyes wide with surprise as she read through the pages. She knew about my love for writing, how I used to pour my heart out onto the pages of my journals. The pages rustled softly, as if whispering the secrets they held. She gained confidence as she delved deeper into the words that I had written a few years ago. It was such a feeling of relief as I listened keenly and hung on every word. I was wondering if my daughter noticed my responses. Something extraordinary began to happen as the days turned into weeks. It was as though the book was keeping me alive. I felt less weak in my body and especially in my legs. I could feel tingling sensations that I hadn't felt for months. I was able to focus more than I used to, especially as I watched them read and turn the pages of my little black book. My family looked at me as though they recognized the improvements in my responses. As she read each day the contents of my little black book, I felt a new surge of energy. My limbs were stiff and hard, now had begun to relax. My body, which had felt heavy and unresponsive, started to feel lighter. The pain, a constant companion for so long, seemed to lessen its grip. I found myself looking forward to each new day, eager to hear what treasures my daughter would unearth from the pages of the little black book. The doctors were amazed. They had seen a slight improvement in my condition, but they couldn't explain it. "It's like your body is healing itself from the inside out," one of them remarked, shaking his head in wonder. I knew the reason, though. It was the power of my own words, the stories I had told, the memories I had shared that were breathing life back into me. The little black book had become a source of unexpected healing, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there is always hope. The words I had written all those years ago, words I thought were lost forever, had found their way back to me, bringing with them a renewed sense of purpose and a will to live. There was a new feeling of hope, something I never see coming. Today, as I lie here, waiting for my family to arrive, I am filled with a sense of anticipation. The doctors have scheduled a hospital visit for me, the first in what feels like forever. They want to run some tests to try and understand the remarkable progress I have made. I am not afraid. I know that whatever the future holds, I am ready to face it. The discovery of the little black book, the shared journey through its pages, has given me a gift far greater than I could have ever imagined. It has given me hope, a belief in the power of my own story, and the strength to keep fighting for my better days to come. I am ready for my next chapter.